Unknown story. Andrea's Jersey heavy accent poking through there for a moment. What did I say? Did I say coffee? I'm gonna drink some fucking coffee. Yo, speaking of New Jersey, that was a perfect segue. That was a perfect segue. Hey, I'm gonna drink some fucking coffee. So I got this little fun story from the New York Times. Mobster pleads in plot against Real Housewives boyfriend, U.S. says. A man who was dating a former New Jersey housewife was beaten up. Her ex-husband asked a Lucchese crime family member to commit the assault, prosecutors say. Hey, right? I'm drinking my coffee. So this is a really good story. This is an amazing story. It's a wonderful story. And now, again, for those of you that don't know a little bit of lore, I hail from new-ass motherfucking Jersey, right? This is where I come from. These are my people. These are my people. The Real Housewives of New Jersey is basically a documentary on what it's like to live in the state of New Jersey, right? Now, again, you can substitute all of these, like, you know, rich events with, like, doing nothing, and it's basically the same, right? You go to fucking Dunkin' Donuts, you get your coffee, you get your donut, you pet your doggy, and then you fucking just do whatever, right? Like, that's what it's like being in New Jersey. Now, because I am from New Jersey, right, I have actually watched The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I think I've watched like 6 seasons of the show. No, I'm not embarrassed of that whatsoever. You cannot make me embarrassed of that. It's a good show, right? Even though all the people in the show are reprehensible human beings, right? It's fun to watch, right? A bunch of rich bitches yelling at each other, pulling each other's hair out. It's amazing, right? And one of the best parts of The Real Housewives of New Jersey is the characters are linked to mobster families, right? Now, again, I hail from New Jersey, right? A lot of people, and I'm also Italian, right? I'm of Italian descent in New Jersey, right? So I've been around, I've heard of family adjacent people that have been connected to the mob, right? So I know that. That's cool stuff, right? So let's read this article, right? This is some great stuff. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. All right. The sordid and violent tale laid out by federal prosecutors seemed ripped from The Sopranos. A well-connected ex-husband, angry that his former wife had found a new boyfriend, enticed a New Jersey mobster to beat the boyfriend up by dangling the prospect of a cut-rate deal on a flashy wedding reception. This is amazing stuff. And in fact, the case did turn out to have a link to a television show. The victim, Dave Canton, was dating Dina Manzo, a former cast member of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. On Wednesday, John Perna, who prosecutors said was a member of the Lucchese crime family, pleaded guilty to his role in the plot. It was unclear how much prison time he faces. The man prosecutors say was his accomplice, Thomas Manzo, the ex-husband, pleaded not guilty in June and will stand trial in April. This is hilarious, right? You'd love to see it. You love to see it. It's amazing, right? How people can know that their family is broadcast on television for their every waking move for 10 years, and they still go ahead and try to do shit like this. Like, Jesus Christ, bitch. The time of undercover mobster dealings was before you got a hit reality TV show, right? I'm just throwing that out there. Now, again, if you've watched The Real Housewives of New Jersey, I recommend it because in a lot of the seasons, they actually have literal mobster gangsters in the show, right? Like, I think it's like in season 1 or 2, one of the main characters literally calls some dude who's who's in the mob, right? To like go crash like some sort of party. It's great. It's amazing. It's high class entertainment. You gotta watch it, right? Mr. Manzo proposed the attack, prosecutors say, after Mr. Perna scheduled a wedding reception 5 years ago at the Brownstone, an upscale 1800s-era venue in Paterson, New Jersey, that played a prominent role in the New Jersey edition of the Real Housewives franchise, and that is partly owned by Mr. Manzo. This is great stuff. The attack happened about a month before Mr. Perna's wedding, when he and one of his associates surprised Mr. Canton outside a strip mall in Passaic County in northern New Jersey and beat him according to the indictment. It was unclear how badly Mr. Canton, who married Miss Manzo in 2019, was hurt. Unbelievable, right? The following month, more than 330 people, many of them members of the Lucchese family, gathered to celebrate Mr. Perna's wedding at a lavish reception at Mr. Manzo's restaurant, whose website promises a perfect backdrop for the wedding of your dreams. Mr. Perna paid only a fraction of the normal price, prosecutors say. Again, you can't be doing this shit if you got a reality TV show. You gotta find other ways of paying people off. You gotta find other ways, right? Get the briefcase full of money. Do something simple. Keep it fucking simple, right? Mr. Manzo was charged with assault and also with falsifying and concealing records related to the investigation. A lawyer for Mr. Manzo did not respond on Wednesday for a request for comment. A lawyer for Miss Manzo and Mr. Canton said his clients would have no comment. The Manzo family had been a prominent part of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, which premiered on Bravo in 2009. At least 3 members of the family have appeared in the show since then. Dina Manzo, along with Thomas Manzo's brother Albert and his wife Caroline. Mr. Manzo is often mentioned, but is not an on-screen or on-camera regular. I love this, dude. I love this. This sounds like a new season teaser. I can see them. I hope so. I hope so. That would be great. The family is well connected in New Jersey. They are known to be close to Bernard B. Kerik, the disgraced former New York City police commissioner, right? Now we get the ACAB thing going on here. They're well connected to not only mobsters, but they're connected to the fucking cops, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And former nominee for Secretary of Homeland Security, who appeared in early promos of the reality show with a snarling attack dog. It gets better. Mr. Kerik also used the brownstone as the site of a 2008 event to raise money for his legal defense fund or against federal charges of corruption, tax evasion, and perjury. Isn't that great? I told you, this is amazing stuff right here. The Manzo family's apparent brush with organized crime recalled an earlier episode in its history. Mr. Manzo's father, a 350-pound man nicknamed Tiny, love it, ran unsuccessfully for mayor of Paterson before he bought the brownstone in the 1970s. In 1983, Tiny Manzo was found dead in the trunk of his Lincoln Continental with 4 bullet wounds to his chest. The killing was never solved. They actually mentioned this in the TV show. Again, you want to read this whole article? Go for it. You want to watch the show? It's on Hulu. If you've got a Hulu subscription, right, go watch The Real Housewives of New Jersey. This show, I'm not even joking, is amazing. It's legendary, right? Now, again, all the characters are garbage. They're all trash, right? They're like literally every single character is absolutely horrendous, right? But it's just fun to watch, right? Again, imagine middle-aged wine moms, right? Middle-aged wine moms screaming at each other and pulling their hairs out and ruining events made for rich people, right? Like in season 3, I think, of The Real Housewives, right? They have this big, like, fucking, like, you know, charity event that, like, you know, this is what these rich people do, right? Is they do these big charity events and then they, like, have their friends, like, go to the charity event and then it's, like, a party for them, right? But they think that they're doing something. They think, oh, look at me, I'm an upstanding member of society, because they're collecting donations and, like, 1/10 of the money that they raise, right, that they spent on the charity event, like 1/10 of the money goes back to a charity. So they're like, oh, look at me, I'm helping the poor. I'm helping those with autism. That's an element of the show. I'm helping those with autism by having a party that costs, I don't know, maybe $500,000 to put on. We've got a ball. Well, all of my good friends are coming up. And then we pay all of our friends, my DJ family members, we pay them. You know, all my other catering family members, my people that work at restaurants, we pay them. And then a couple come in and they give us money for a charity. Oh, aren't we wonderful citizens? And then, of course, right, it's all a tax write-off. It's all a big scam, right? There's actually, again, you gotta watch this show. It's amazing, right? One part of the show is where one of the main characters right? Husbands get sent to prison. Get sent to prison, right? And, you know, why? Because he was driving drunk. Imagine being, like, dumb enough. You're on a reality TV show. People are following your every move. And you decide to drive drunk. And you get sent to prison on a live national... No, not live, but on a national fucking reality TV show. It's amazing content. It's amazing content. I should do like a watch party for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Like, review every single episode. Would anyone watch that if I reviewed every single episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey? Because I think I should, and I think you would watch it, because this stuff, let me just tell you, it's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. You can find and watch any show on the internet for free. Well, thank you, Bodan. I appreciate that. I'm glad you told me.